Good morning, Soul Embodiment Tribe. Bridget Patton here with Soul Massages. I have been noticing a theme recently, and it isn't one that just was this week. This is something that I've been noticing for years when working with clients. Almost 100% of the time, people believe that they do not have a spiritual gift, or they say, I don't think I'm that person that has a spiritual gift. So my message to you today is, what exactly am I talking about when I say spiritual gift? Good morning, Tiffany. So a spiritual gift is actually when your body brings the soul inside and is able to communicate from a place of source at all times. So when you are questioning inside of your mind, and that's ego. So we're going to talk a little bit about ego and spirit. So our ego's responsibility is to hold us in a place that we can survive. Good morning, James. So if you understand that the ego is going to be in fight or flight for the majority of the time until you're consciously acknowledging those programs, then you can replace them with spirit-filled ones. That's what I'm talking about when I'm discussing spiritual gifts. A spiritual gift is when you are your authentic self outside of your ego. Your ego is basically like your basic programming, your hard drive. So it takes things in when we're children, when we're in the womb, actually generations before we're even born. All of this information is stored inside of our bodies. So the only thing that keeps us from sharing our spiritual gifts is our presence of ego. But a lot of the time, we don't know that we're blocking our spiritual gifts. 100% of the time, when I get to that root, that spiritual gift for someone, and I've worked with hundreds of people, they always say, I didn't see that one coming. And that's because we're blocking that. We're resisting it because we've gotten into a place in society where we have to fit in, and we feel like we have to fit in anyway. And this I'm not going to get into right now because I've talked about it in other videos, and maybe I can pop one in here if anybody has a question about this. But our instincts are to fit in and to be able to be in a community. But what we don't realize is that when we're our authentic self, that attracts our natural community. And when we're working against ourselves, we try to fit into a community that, it may be appealing at the time, but if we're having to dim our light or dim who we are, then that's not the true self that you're being. You're not being your authentic self. And that's what I help people do every single day. I help them tune into who their authentic self is. And unless you have a mirror, a reflection, and I'm not saying it has to be me. I'm just saying it has to be somebody in your reality that can have the strength to hold space for you as your true self. And it takes a lot of strength to do that because we have so many layers of ego on top of who we really are, and it's painful. It can be painful to shed those layers until we understand how to reprogram ourselves to see it in a pleasurable way. When we understand our connection to source and how it's always working out for us, how the universe always has our back, that right there is what releases the pressure inside of our body so that we can start surrendering more and more to source. And that's what I do with people in my Crack the Safe course. I help people tap into their spiritual gifts because we're rejecting who our true selves are. And we don't do it on purpose. Obviously, if we knew what we were doing, we would change it. Or if we knew how to do it, we would change it, right? Yes, that's exactly what would happen because nobody wants to be miserable. We don't show up on this planet to be miserable. We show up here because we have a mission. We have a vision. There's a blueprint inside of us for us to share with humanity. That's our spiritual gift. That's what we're tapping into, our authentic selves, so that we can really shine our life and our light as a representation of source, the limitless abundance of what source can give us. And I'm not just talking about wealth and money and material things. I'm talking about the highest vibration possible that you could possibly even imagine is inside of you. And if we're hiding from that, and almost every person that I work with unconsciously is hiding or stuffing that away because somewhere along the lines we were shining our light and being our authentic self and somebody else got triggered by it. Someone else got triggered, so we go into self-defense and we hide it, we bury it, because that's how we survive. That's how we stay in the moment so that we can keep being on this planet. But I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. That is not the way that we're supposed to be living our realities. Everything that we desire, the deep relationships filled with love and authenticity. I'm not saying that there aren't bumps along the way. I'm not saying that there aren't challenges. But when you're connected to Source, you have the answers all of the time. You have that clarity. You have that warmth inside of you that keeps you moving forward. And yes, people that are channeling Source are healers. We're healers because we're allowing somebody else to be themselves, their authentic self. And just by shining our light, that's what triggers and activates somebody else. And it's not up to you to decide how that other person is going to handle your authentic self, you being you. It's just your job to be yourself. And the people that belong in your life will be there. And the people that don't align with that vibration will move out of your reality. And that's a fact. I don't care what the situation is. When you're channeling your highest self, spirit shows up 100% of the time. And I could give you a list of examples all day long, but instead, if you'd like to chat about that, I would love to connect with you. I do complimentary synergy sessions, and I would just absolutely love to connect with anybody that has questions about this. Your spiritual gift is meant to be shared, and I have great joy in being able to unlock that inside of each and every one of you. So I hope you guys can take this message to your heart and understand that whatever is going on in your life right now, focus on the fact that you are here for a reason, and that spiritual gift is meant to be shared. And whatever that is going to heal other people. It is going to hold space for other people to be themselves. Can you even imagine what a world full of authentic people would look and feel like? If you can't, that's another conversation. If you can go into that imaginative space and feel inside your body the world and the way that it would change if we were all able to be authentic. And if you're worried about what this person or that person did when they were being their authentic self, understand that's not authentic. That's ego. That's survival. If somebody is doing something out of spite or misery or anxiety or anything like that, or anger, that is not spirit. That's the ego defending itself. So understand that it's not your problem. It's not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to be able to respond to Source and allow Source to come through you, in you and through you. So this message is filled with power. I've been holding on to it for a while because I wanted to wait for the right time, and today was the right time. So I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.